Your most important objective as a communicator is connection. Let's say, instead of this environment, we are all just going to hear someone else give a talk. And let's say all of us fit into the back row of this big auditorium listening to this presenter. Here's the thought experiment. How is it that we, as members of this audience, listening to this speaker, decide to trust them? Decide what they're saying is meaningful to us? Decide to mentally engage? What is it between just sitting down and them walking onto the platform? How do we make that calculus? What is that calculation in our minds? Probably unconsciously, but how do we make it? Fortunately, research is looking into this for us. The Stereotype Content Model flows off the tongue as a description, but it basically suggests that humans, beneath the hood, do a rapid succession of calculations the first time we meet or engage someone for the first time. So this can be, I'm sitting down and there's a presenter walking out to the podium. It can be, I just met someone on the bus. It can be, I've just met someone at a dinner party. So any context. You are engaging a new human being for the first time. What is going on in your brain when that happens? Fisk and colleagues argue that you are basically asking yourself two questions. Again, under the hood, not necessarily consciously. You're asking what are their intentions and what is their capacity to pursue those intentions. The first question about intentions is that you're just trying to figure out, as any good, Homo sapien, well-evolved Homo sapien would, are trying to figure out, is this person a threat on one end of the continuum or an opportunity to collaborate on the other end of the continuum? And you're kind of gauging that by warmth. Are they friendly, good-natured, trustworthy, right? Like we have some fairly good social signals for determining that kind of a thing. The other question you're asking is, okay, what is their capacity then to pursue those intentions? Are they capable of following through? Which is a question, of course, about competence. Are they capable? Are they capable? Intelligent? Do they have the skills necessary in order to do the thing they're trying to do? Now, Fisk and colleagues argue that the little calculation your brain is making is on another 2x2 quadrant, where you're saying to yourself, self, is this a high warmth and high competent person? Because that is the kind of person you are just instinctively incentivized to engage with. They would be a good person on your team. A low warmth, high competence person, so someone who does not striking me as friendly, but who seems very, very smart, that's a little scary, isn't it? Like if you have the capability to do things that are not in my best interest. I don't want you on my team. I do not want to go foraging for you or chasing the bison or whatever it is we're doing. High warmth, low competence. They're great. Does anyone know any of these? They're fun at a party. But do you want to go venturing off with them into high stakes situations? And then you have low warmth, low competence, and they don't garner our enthusiasm, generally speaking. Fisk and colleagues did their work a while ago. There's some newer research in this space that are also asking if we have another part of the calculation, which is basically, will they pursue intentions fairly? We're basically asking, in that case, does this person play by the same rules as my tribe, right? Are they trustworthy? Will they play by the rules? Do we have a shared sense of how we measure good and bad between us? So we're going to judge that kind of by sincerity, whether they're moral and ethical and transparent. So I wanted to get here. Warmth, competence, and sincerity. I think you can make a really good argument that this makes or breaks a presentation in a lot of respects. Your warmth, sincerity, and competence as a presenter, as to how you signal these things. And which is not to say that you're getting up and being ooshy-gooshy, is not to say that you are trying to walk into a room and like signal that you're the smartest person or anything like that. It's just acknowledging that humans make a whole bunch of heuristic snap judgments when we engage other human beings, and we evolved to do that. And if you want to think about what the people who are in the room who are coming to hear your talk are thinking way underneath the level of consciousness about who you are, it's worth thinking about. How do I engage with this room, with the room and the people within it, both before the presentation and after the presentation and during the presentation, in a way that signals warmth, in a way that signals competence, and in a way that signals sincerity. By contrast, next time you are listening to someone talk and you just find yourself switching off, another post-it note for future self. There's a lot of reasons to switch off, but if you're not feeling warmth, sincerity, and competence from someone at the front of the room, it's going to be a switch off moment. So I signal warmth to say I'm not going to seek dominance in this. Even like we talked about earlier, you can use weakness as a way, my personal weakness as a way to, in this room, say, you know what, I'm not trying to one-up you on a status game in any way, shape, or form. I was talking to someone at the break about how comedians use this all the time. Comedians are so self-deprecating. A, because self-deprecation is hilarious. B, because you can take an entire room of people and tell all the people in the world, I don't think I'm any better than you. And you've just sucked out the status game of the air by doing that. And if you are trying to make people laugh, that can be really helpful. When you're competent, you're signaling, okay, we can do something together. I have something you need, you have something I need. We are not just going to be an audience and a speaker anymore, we're going to be collaborators. If you want that to be an outcome of your talk, then signal the competence, signal that you have something to share, something that you have something to provide. And we're going to play by the same rules. Trust and connection is what happens when your audience doesn't feel like an audience anymore. When we go from just, okay, someone listening, I'm listening to someone, and they're just saying things, to, okay, this person is sharing something with me I can use and we can do something, maybe even do something together. That's where you want to get to. You want to get to where audience is not necessarily audience anymore. The warmth, sincerity, competence thing I think is really helpful because it just reminds us that no matter what you get up and present on stage, it is not like just words in a vacuum. Like they are embodied. You are a part of them. Your message and your body, the whole thing, it's all one package. So your message, I would argue your message in large part depends on warmth, sincerity, and competence in regardless of the context or where you are presenting. Your most important objective as a communicator is connection. So how do we nurture warmth, competence, and sincerity?